keep finding myself buying really rough motors, but the cheap price tag is too enticing. So for $100, I picked up these 4 motors. So here's 3 of them. Well, I guess it's like 3.5 motors. This is a Honda 99. This one, yeah, Yamaha 99. It's a 2001. The cowling's pretty torn up. I was actually kind of interested in these 2 for the most part. So yeah, Evinrude, it's a 9.9. Yeah, this one's pretty clean for sitting around. Yeah, I got the CDI. And then this one's pretty faded. It's a Johnson 15. Probably about the same year as this one. Also has the CDI. So yeah, about $25 for each of these motors. So yeah, the story I got was that it was out of marina, and these were all motors that were just left behind by sailboats and previous tenants that just didn't want these anymore. So yeah, we'll see if they run or not. Hopefully at least these 2 could be saved, because I have 3 of them right here. So I got a lot of parts for them. So if we could at least turn a few of these motors into running motors, that'd be awesome. I'll start by doing a compression test. I really have no idea the condition of these. Really the only thing he knew is he said that he used this one like maybe 6 years ago, and the rest of these he has no idea the last time they were run. So yeah, we'll see if they got good compression or if they're just pieces of shit. We got like 100, it's like about 115 PSI, so that's pretty good. So let's test the bottom. It's like 125, man. That's actually probably the best compression I've seen on some of these motors, so I think we're in business. All right, let's test the compression on this Evinrude 99. I mean, this is the cleanest motor of the bunch, so yeah, high hopes for this one. Yeah, bottom cylinder is about 110. Yeah, like just under 120, so that's pretty good. All right, gonna do a spark test on this Johnson 15. Typically, if these don't have spark, it's usually the power pack that's bad. So, got spark on both. All right, let's see. Top cylinder, it's got spark. This Evinrude 99. Oh yeah, I can hear it. Got good spark. All right, bottom cylinder. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, it's got spark. All right, first attempt. Let's see what happens. Push the choke in. Full start is a little wonky. Yeah, full starter's pretty wonky. I'm just gonna lube up the spring a little bit here, so the recoil is a little bit better. Try this again. The lowest idle just died right there. Let's just fire it up again. If I go back to the starting position, it dies. Yeah, with this like broken piece for the idle, it's like idling too low, so I need to pop it out. There's like a little retainer clip right here that I'm just gonna get a flathead and pop off. Yeah, so I got that little retainer clip off. So now I should just be able to, yeah, undo that and put a bolt there. So I got that bolt now attached to this piece here. I mean, this retaining clip is kind of a pain to get back on, but here's the bolt. I just got an extra. It's a 3/8 diameter bolt, and this is like 2 1/4 inches actually. It's like 2 1/2 is a little long, 2 is a little short, but these 2 1/4, I mean, you could probably get away with 2 1/2 and just thread it in more. So this is threaded in like, I don't know, 4 or 5 turns in, so it's snug, it's not going in there. And so now if you can look in there, now that advanced the throttle and timing just a little bit, so it shouldn't die at idle now. We got that bolt there, the retaining clip. You can just throw a wrench on the end of there to slightly adjust the idle if needed. And I just fired it up and it wasn't running great at full throttle, so this enrichment knob, I just turned to the left a little bit, seemed like it was running better, so it was about half a turn to the left from the original position. So let's see if that did it. I tested it in the bucket, but on the box the idle is a little bit high. See if it fires right back up. Idle's maybe a little bit high. I can back it down in here. Idle's slightly high. We'll just back it out like, I don't know, maybe just like 1/8 or 1/4 of a turn. Let's see if that does it. Oh, that's a little better. Know if I have to really do much to this motor. I mean, this is one of 4 motors that were abandoned at a marina, and you know, I basically got 4 of them for $100, so this was like $25. You know, clearly someone took care of it. This is probably the nicest 9.9 or 15 from like the 70s and 80s I've seen, so I'm assuming someone must have serviced the carb at one point. I mean, this thing's peeing water like it's got a new impeller. Like, I've worked on these a lot, and it's as good a stream as you're gonna get. So I mean, I guess I'll just change the gear lube and probably be done with this motor. Fluid looks pretty old, but it's not milky, so yeah, I think we got good seals in the lower unit too. Cowling's pretty damn good. I mean, it's missing the 9 there, but I mean, the prop too, there's like hardly any paint. There's not even like really any chips on this. The anode looks fine. There's just a little bit of surface rust, but there's no chunks missing. That would clean up like with a wire brush. I mean, there's like a little chip on the cavitation plate, but other than that, that's like the only flaw in this motor. Alright, so let's start working on this other $25 abandoned Johnson 15. I mean, I know it's got spark and compression. The guy said he lost the screws for the lower unit here. They just threw some bolts on there. I have just some parts Johnson lower unit screws here, so I'm going to take these out, replace them, change. I'm sure there's no gear lube, I hope. Alright, we got this Johnson 15 mounted, but this handle is pretty seized up. I usually just go through a can of PB Blaster a week, I swear. There we go. Oh yeah, she's free. She looks pretty rough, but it's got great compression. So let's send it. Give it a little choke. Give it a little bit of throttle. Just choking. She wants to start, I can tell. A little more throttle. if he wants to. Let me get some starting fluid. Yeah, might be like spider nest in here. Just throw a little starting fluid in there. I think I should reach the carb without taking off the airbox. There we go. Come on, baby. She needs a carb clean. I'll be damned. Idling a little high, but no carb clean. I love seeing creative solutions that I didn't know about before that actually work. So props to this guy for doing this. Just back the idle off just a hair. Yeah, just back it off a hair, and we'll retighten this one. There we go. So I always like testing the motor under load to see how the impeller is. I mean, it's not being as good as the last one, but it's still a pretty good stream. Alright, so I may have jumped the gun. I mean, it runs pretty decent, but it can run better, so it needs a carb clean. But hey, for an abandoned motor for 25 bucks, the fact that it's a runner, I think that's a win. So yeah, I got a carb kit here. Really just need to most likely replace the float, clean the jets, maybe the needle, and yeah, we'll see how it runs after that. I mean, I kind of really despise these pull starters. I hate taking them apart and putting them back on. So to get this carb off, I mean, there's this little cam follower with a flathead. So if you can kind of get different size flatheads and kind of just turn it like a quarter turn at different angles, you can get that off and then get to that nut down there holding that one. This one on the left here is a lot easier. All right, let's see the damage. I'm gonna bet money there's a cork float, original one. Yep. Yeah, this thing just looks like dog shit. So we'll replace this, clean the jets. Oh yeah, what the fuck is this? The fucking that's the needle clip that holds the needle on. So that's why it wasn't running good. Yeah, this needle that was just like randomly floating in the bowl, it's like all bent. It should be a lot like tighter seal on this, so we'll place that. You can see kind of on the edges too, in there, those are just like pieces of cork too on this gasket that have broken down. See down in there. Yeah, I got this jet off. You can see through there. Just blow stuff through there. Yeah, blow through there. There's a little bit of stuff actually where the needle was seated. That's clear. Yeah, this guy actually looks pretty dirty here. We'll just tighten that in all the way, see where it's seated, pull it out, clean it, put it back, adjust from there. Yeah, there's a little bit of dirt where that needle was seated, a little bit of dirt too on the sides here, so we'll clean this up. That all affects the air and idle. Yeah, that gasket on there looks new, but this looks pretty bad, so just got a scraper, gonna scrape this off. Yeah, new float. This will last a lot longer, and it's really hard to see on the GoPro, but yeah, this needle on the left here, any sign that it's getting rounded at the tip, I just like to replace it with a new needle, just because you want this needle to seat properly so it gets the right amount of fuel. Yeah, I had to bend that tab actually quite a bit out of the box, but that looks pretty good. It can maybe even go like a little bit slightly lower. Just confirm that needle's moving. Yep, it's moving the way it should. So yeah, I'll put this together and see if it runs good. I've had to go through this carb twice. Had to get this readjusted, the air mixture screw readjusted. She is all painted, did a couple coats of white, just did a coat or two of clear coat. You know, this really is not a very good paint job and restoration in my opinion. You know, this is just a cheap budget way to paint it. It's kind of like the landlord special of paint jobs. You know, it's kind of a butterface, I'd say. You know, from afar she looks good, but once you get up close, she's not looking too good. She's got couple spots here. Should have been painted better and sanded. You know, I really should use like paint stripper, you know, grinding wheel, sanded it down to the bare metal, and then use some better quality paint. But this is, again, just a cheap way to make the motor look a little bit better. Yeah, I'm gonna do some decals on this Johnson 15, and then I'm gonna put some decals on this Evinrude. So I got all these decals here. In total, with free shipping, it was like under 20 bucks. So yeah, the seller I found on eBay goes by Vintage Marine Decals, and he's just a one-man show. He makes some pretty sweet decals. I think he has like 700 different decals on his store, all with free shipping, all super affordable compared to like anywhere else I could find. So yeah, I'm gonna include his link in the description. Go check out his decals. He's got some good ones. Well, deals on outboards keep popping up and it's too hard not to turn down. So we got this camoed out Johnson 99. It's used for duck hunting boat. I only paid $5 for this thing. So I just brought it home now, and the tiller throttle was like really stiff and wouldn't move. So I just have some rebar, took the handle off, and I'm just getting this out. I'm just gonna make this hole a little bit bigger. This seems kind of like a common thing when these motors sit. These get seized up. So I already put a little grease, but that wasn't doing it. So essentially you just gotta make the hole a little bit bigger, and should be a little bit smoother on the tiller. All right, so we got this tiller handle greased up. I even put a washer there just to extend it a little bit. And I noticed this guy even had the little like snap clip holding the rod in place. So this is set at like the perfect position. You can see those teeth are catching nicely. You can still lift it out. And so after all those fixes, super smooth, easy to turn. So that's fixed. So let's start actually diving into this motor. So I just happened to glance at the prop, and there's no cotter pin holding this nut on. It's just a wire wrapped around it, which is really sketchy. So I'm glad I just noticed this. So we'll take off this nut, put an actual, or not even take off the nut, just change out this wire and put a cotter pin in there. Yeah, this wire broke off super easily, and that nut wasn't even tight, so proper cotter pin in there, so that should do it. Yeah, we're gonna check the compression. Got the plugs out. They just look like your normal two-stroke plugs. Squirted a little PV blaster in the cylinders and turned the flywheel just to get that going through. But yeah, let's see if this is a runner. I'm just gonna throw a little silicone spray on the spring. A little better. Top. We got, what was that, like 115? So that's awesome. Let's check the bottom. Yeah, bottom cylinder is also 115, so we're in business. Yep, good spark. Let's test the bottom. Bottom. Yep, good spark. And I guess said he ran the fuel dry out of it, so let's see if this $5 Johnson's a ripper or not. Let's show. A little bit of throttle. getting somewhere. Adjust the idle screw on the side here. Yeah, this idle screw, shut it off. This little gold flathead bolt kind of like stops how much you can adjust the idle. So if you undo that, you can kind of slide it out of the way. And I'm just gonna twist this to extend the idle a little bit. Or other way, threads are backward. So I'm just gonna push this out a little bit farther. So this will basically have the lowest idle a little bit higher than what it was sitting at. So let's try it right there, see how that does. Blowing like 40 miles an hour today. Pretty damn good. Pretty in good water too. All the gears are working. She just fires back up. For literally only paying $5, dude, you can't beat that deal. This thing actually pees pretty decent water. Runs pretty good. The spark plugs are pretty fouled up, so I need to clean those. But yeah, I really just had to extend this a little bit to adjust the idle. Well, here's the 3 motors I worked on this video. This Johnson 99, I just put a different cowling on it that I had. Evinrude 99 and Johnson 15. We'll just fire them up one more time and confirm they're all running good. Yeah, these older Johnson and Evinrude motors, man, they're a good option if you're just trying to find a cheap motor to get out on the water. I mean, all these motors are over 40 years old. This is 1977, 84, 1982. And I mean, as you saw, they didn't need all that much work, honestly. The carbs can be a little bit tricky on these, getting like the idle set correctly, the air mixer screw, all that. But yeah, if you can pick one up for cheap, you know, these are pretty solid little motors. That's pretty much going to conclude this video. I got a ton more content I got to go edit and go through for more outboard motors. Seems like lately you guys have been digging the outboard motor content. I appreciate all the positive feedback. And as always, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. See you on the next one.